Like, I believe that there's a gap that almost everyone understands. The difference between the me that you are over here and the me that you want to be. And in moments of extreme stress that are extremely important to you, like the most important moments in your life are almost always um, surrounded by a tremendous amount of stress. So, how do you reach through that stress? How do you embrace that stress so that you become a bigger, better version of yourself, even when you think you can't?
Uh-huh.
Like, that's the trick. Even when you think you can't, how do you create the power to be the person that you want to be?
Yeah.
Right?
You had mentioned something to me a while back. I mean, I think this relates to it. This is about confidence, right? Confidence being a practice is like, it sounds like what you're doing is you're helping people, up level their confidence in themselves, maybe, and confidence in their abilities. And so to you, what is like confidence as a practice? What does that mean?
Yeah. So like my life is a perfect example of what you're just asking. Like when I started, like I have a signature story that I tell when I have time with groups that describes how I was in grade 9, and I was identified by a teacher saying, "Hey, the principal asked me to find student leaders," and he's looking at me and I'm like looking over my shoulder going, "You want me to help you find
You're
student
talking to me?
leaders?" Like, he's like, "No, you Haskett, idiot. You're the leader." And I have this whole story where like my character under real but inconsequential stress collapse. Like my character, who I thought I was, like the good part of me, totally collapsed when I was under stress. In this sort of, where I had to stand up and talk in front of a group of people and say nothing really. But uh, you know, what I found in that moment was that stress changes you. And
Mhm.
unless you are ready for that, unless you have resources to fight back, that change will become your character. And so at the age of like 13, I started to create what these things that later on I called Rogers rules, because it turns out you can get better. Like it turns out that something that most people think is so deeply part of themselves that they will never be able to change it is exactly the thing that you can change. And so by following what, I call Rogers rules, you might call them David's doctrines or
Ooh, I
whatever,
like
right?
that. I like
Like what's really important is taking these ideas and making them your idea, not absorbing mine, but making them yours. And I created these rules that allowed me to start to be the person I needed to be in these moments of extreme stress so that my character wouldn't disappear, but rather my character would shine through. Um, so I believe that confidence, I believe that engagement, I believe that inner power are all things that you can adapt, that you can build. And so wherever you start, you can move towards magnificence in the moments that matter the most to you by following a series of ideas, a series of behaviors that allow you to reach beyond yourself, to be bigger. So I think internal power is the difference between being smaller than you really are, right? Or bigger than you think you can be. And, so having internal power means that suddenly I can do, like, I believe everyone listening now should be able to go, "Oh, yeah, I understand that." Like, yeah, I remember a time when I thought I wasn't going to be able to do whatever. And
Mhm.
not only did I do it, I did it amazingly. Well, if you can do that, then you can do it in other places too.
Uh-huh.